everybody, it's Becca at So Darn Twisted. Today I'm going to teach you how to make this little pop-up kind of folio tuck spot pocket contraption. I woke up with this in my mind and unfortunately I wasn't well enough to sit at the desk and make a tutorial, but then I managed to sit down last night watching a film with my husband and make a little kind of prototype just to see if the idea would work or whether or not it was worth bothering with. And I wanted to mess about with some scraps left over from my new printable kit. So this is what I came up with. The idea of having tuck spots and pockets that also had pockets in between as well. Which both of those have. So that was the idea, and I'm really pleased to say that it did actually work. Otherwise I wouldn't be here right now saying, okay, let me show you how I did this. Now a lot of you are probably going to look at this and go, well, that's not difficult to figure out, and you're right, it's not. You know, it's not. If you know what you're doing, you probably don't even need this tutorial, so go away, go do what you already know how to do. You shouldn't be here. But no, this is for, obviously, as are a lot of my videos, these are for beginners who think that things might be a little bit too complicated for them when they see things. So I'm trying to sort of come up with things that look a bit more complex than they actually are, so that you can achieve the results of something that isn't just a pocket, you know, not just a tag, no, because that's obviously how most of us start, isn't it? Just doing the very, very basics. So yeah, so let's get moving and we'll get this made. Okay, so what do we need? So the first thing that you're going to need is an even number of envelopes. They can be pretty much any size or shape and have any flap that you have. You know, it doesn't matter. These are just ones I picked up in a charity shop last month, sorry, and these are just the perfect time to use something like this, but it is important to have an even number. So yeah, so there's those. You'll want some ink, most likely. I'm also going to be using some distress spray to get the same finish that I had on the other one. You may want some corner punches. You don't need them, but you may want to use those. Some scissors are almost a certain thing. You're going to want some things to actually decorate the envelopes with. Again, in this instance, I'm going to use some more of, this is the new printable, well, a small part of the new printables kit that I have currently up in my coffee, who knows? Yeah, that link in the description. Shop and my Etsy shop as well. So they are currently uploaded in there for anybody who wants to go and have a look, and there is a freebie available from it on my coffee site as well, so go and help yourself to that. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm trying to recall words and stuff today. I'm not doing especially well, but you know, I couldn't wait. I really wanted to get this tutorial done, so please do forgive me if there are, you know, parts where I can't remember what I'm trying to say. Stick with me. I know that half of you out there are just as bad as I am anyway, so it's fine, right? It's fine, it's fine. We have to laugh about these things. You're also going to want some bits and pieces to decorate with, you know, just sort of to put on. So I've just got a few, just pulled out a few of the boxes that have got random bits and pieces in. I also, one of the things I did use on the one yesterday and I plan to use again today is I had some scrap cotton fabric that I stamped on. I'd previously coffee dyed it and I'd left it to soak for a really, really long time, so that you've got these really dark, sort of almost burnt looking marks on them. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah, so I'll probably use some more of those on here as well today, because I think they just look really, really cool, and things obviously to shove in your pockets and your tuck spots as well, which I do for the small one as well. The mini tags from from the kit. This is the blank part. I've included blanks for most of the sticker labels and tags and everything that are in there. I really liked mini tags, are just so cute. But yeah, they will work really well if you're making small envelopes to put into the tuck spots. So there's always that option as well. I think that's pretty much covered what we're going to need, but if not, I will let you know as we go along. Yeah, so this, I thought I had everything, but no, you're going to need glue, aren't you? Glue, Becca. I also, I've hacked my phone stand to be a glue holder, so it holds it up the right way for me. And now my phone's just been relegated to somewhere else on my desk. So what I've done here is I've cut out the journal card fronts from the kit, but obviously if you guys are using different theme or just different printables or, you know, whatever, just cut out the pieces that you'll need to fit your envelopes. Just so happens that these fit nicely where I want them to go on here, so that's grand. I've also cut out from the backgrounds just a cover piece and a couple of tab tops because I had an idea variation on the small one that I did of how to make it better for this one. So as I said, you're going to need an even number of envelopes because you need them to be facing each other. And if you have an odd number, you're just going to have one that's just kind of sat down there doing nothing. So there's not a lot of point. So you can have any amount that you want, but obviously bear in mind that the more you put, the more it will bulge open. So today, for the purposes of just being able to demonstrate to you how I did it, I'm only going to use 4. But I mean, that's fine to, you know, put into a tuck spot or, you know, behind a belly band or just glue straight in onto a page. You know, there's nothing wrong with 4. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spray the envelopes with the distress ink. So now we're going to get some glue. And we are going to glue. I'm going to have that one for my front one. So my front one, I'm going to just lay down like that. And then the next one, I'm just going to get hold of it and I'm just going to square it up. And once that's all nicely in place, you can put something on it to hold it down or something if you need to. Obviously not all envelopes come out the packet exactly the same measurements to the millimetre. Now for this, you only want to go along the bottom edge with your glue and then just slightly up the side, just like maybe an inch and a half. If you're using flat seal flaps on your envelopes, then you can just go all the way up the side edges. But for these, we're going to be cutting the tops off. So we're just going to push that shut, fold that over, and you're going to get your next envelope and you're going to take this side and glue it to this side so that your opening is facing upwards. But again, we're only going to go, which way's the right way? We're only going to go up the 3 edges of this as well, because this is what creates the kind of concealed pocket, you know. So you don't want to go all the way to the top. So we're just going to pop that one down on there, square that up again, and give that a little push down. And then you're just going to repeat that for, if you're only doing 4 like me, then you're going to repeat it for your last one. Or if you're doing more, just keep going until you've got as many on there as you wanted. So let's get that one in place. Here we go. Fabulous. Just try and kind of finagle them into position if they're a little off. So sometimes they just are, especially ones that aren't like the best quality kind of thing. They're often a little bit skewed on the sizes. Right, so now I'm going to take my front cover piece, which is actually over here. Now at this point, if you want to clip out corners, I like to round these corners off with just a corner trimmer, and then you can either do the same for this piece or you can make these ones a decorative corner. So I might do both actually. I might do the corner clipping on the tops of the envelopes. You'll have to excuse me, I don't have a lot of strength today, but we'll get there. Makes it look so much harder. Okay, and then it's just that one last, isn't it? There we go. Going through one, not as difficult. All right, and then for the corners of this then I will do, and I'll do it the same for these. I'll do the more decorative. I quite like to have that corner on the steampunk stuff. I don't know why particularly that one. I have a box full of corner punches and I always seem to go back to the same ones time after time. So I'm going to do, while I've got the punch there, I may as well just punch out these ones as well. And grab my little ink pad over here. And obviously you guys skip through this bit, you don't need me to hold your hand. So we're all inked up, and if you're wondering why I've inked the inside of these, the reason is very simple. Is because when you fold them closed and glue them onto things, anything like this, that's two pieces of white being glued together, you often find it starts sticking. You can still see some of the white if your edges aren't exactly the same lined up from the cutting, then you end up with little white bits poking out. I don't like it, so I do that, and it just helps to stop that from happening. I did test inking things, so the fact that I'm willing to spend the time doing that that says something about how much I dislike it. Okay, so now we're going to glue on the front cover, the front piece onto here, and I'm going to put it the right way round as well because I find that helps. So we're going to, that's how my glue tip ended up over there before, isn't it? And now it's glued to my fingers. My God, what an absolute debacle today. I did my very best to be all prepared and to, yeah, try to preempt issues that I might have, and then other things come along and go, guess what? Right, so I'm going to get that in there about central. Fabulous. Give it a good press down. And then the 4 journal card covers, I'm just going to glue those on in here. So I'm just going to have a little look and see roughly where that's going to come out to. Okay, about there, because there's that little bit there that I kind of don't obviously want to, I don't want to put any glue on, because otherwise it'll glue this to the pocket, and I don't want that. Still managed to go a little bit extra there, didn't I? That's just me, I'm a little bit extra, aren't I? Or so people tell me. Right, so we've got that one in there, and then your pocket is still nice and intact there, but this bit is glued down. And then you're just going to repeat that basically across the rest of them. All right, so now we have those in place, and they're all fab and doing what they're supposed to be doing. We're now going to cut down for the tuck spots. So the reason I've done it this way is because I think I'd quite like it so that it ties in with the edge of where that finishes. So if I kind of cut along there now, I don't know why, it's kind of an aesthetic thing, I suppose. It's like, okay, that's now not going to overlap that extra thickness and it will look tidy. Yeah, I don't know. it just, oh, a bit too much glue there apparently. It just occurred to me that I might quite like it that way. And you just have to run with these things, don't you? Brain says yes. Okay, fabulous. So now we can get rid of those, we don't need them. And just at this point, make sure that you've got glue all the way up to the side of that piece. If you're missing a little bit, I'm just a little bit shy there of enough. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit in there just to close that gap, because you don't want it to be weakened when you start putting things in it. So now at this point you can do like I did in the other one, and you can cut out panels to go on these, or you can use sentiments, which is what I've decided I think I'm gonna go with today. I think I'm gonna add these onto there and have some other things behind it, like maybe some of this, you know, some of this fabric behind it, or yeah, something along those lines is where I think I'm going to go with that. But first of all, I'm going to get a cover piece, like a thing, you know, the thing with the stuff, and yeah. Yeah, label. I'm going to get a label, and then I'm gonna just kind of, oops, I'm just gonna see about a piece that's just, I don't want it to be all straight and neat and, you know, that kind of thing. I think there might be some thicker, yeah, it's a bit thicker up this end, I think, or in that middle bit there we go. We'll have that part. And I'm gonna just kind of cut it to the rough size, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it and kind of just scrunch it so you end up with it like this, and then I'm just gonna kind of cut it so that when you open it up, it's all, you know, kind of rough and jaggy for you. You don't need to sit there trimming into the edges, you know, you just a bit like that, nice and tight, and then cut it on an angle, and that will already mess that edge up for you much quicker than trying to go along, you know, with a pair of scissors chipping into the edge of it. Okay, so I'm happier with how that looks now. You might want to use a glue stick rather than your sort of wet glue for this part, because obviously it can get a little bit too messy, it all starts to seep through. Oh, a brand new glue stick. You've got to love a brand new glue stick. Right, I used to think only children could get excited about glue sticks because, you know, that's what they use in school. I used to think glue sticks were just for children. I know better now. I have learned the error of my ways. Okay, so that can go down on there. And then I'm going to just get the little bit of ink that's left on my little dauber there, and just give it a little bit just for some definition and lift around the edges. You can also, obviously, if you're putting a label on the front, you can give it a spray with some ink, you know, just to make it look even more gross if you're doing a steampunk journal. I'm just gonna now put some normal glue on there. We're cooking. And we're just gonna pop that on and hope that it's about straight. Okie dokie. Fab. I think I'm going to use some more of that mesh fabric throughout on those tabs like I mentioned before. So now I want to have a piece of ephemera. I want something that I'm going to stick in here, which could be obviously a journaling card. So I'm going to take one of the ones that I did yesterday, and I am going to glue one of my tab tops onto that. So I'm going to obviously just go one side for the top part because that will be touching the other side, and then both sides of the base part. There we go. And then we're just going to pop that down on there. And get it nice. There we go. Got to come that way a little bit for me. Yep, there we are. Fantastic. So that's now ready to just slot into there, which is kind of cool. But I was also thinking that with these, I might have some coming out the top of the tuck spots, just to make it a little bit easier. I was thinking to slide your things in and out of it. It would help if you had that there to slide things against. So I'm going to do that onto the other tuck spots as well. So we'll just get these. I forgot to do the bottom part of that side. Okay, same again. So top and bottom. The good thing with something like this though is that you can just make it up as you go along, you know. You don't have to follow any particular method or style or anything really. You can just go, oh, I want that there, and I'm going to use this for that, and you don't have to use something for the purpose it was intended, you know. But you see now, because when I go to put things into that, I can use the tab top as a buffer kind of thing, when I haven't just sort of accidentally glued it a little bit. But it will just act as a buffer there, so I don't have to try to find the opening. So I've got another one of those cut, so I'll just quickly grab that and we'll chuck it in that other tuck spot as well. So we're going to now just go and do the edge inking of the main compartments and everything. So obviously, again, you guys know what you're doing. You don't need me to tell you. So I'll come back to you when I've got through all of this. So I've pulled out a few more labels and some more of that fabric. And I thought, I'm not going to make these identical. What I'm going to do is I am going to, because this side of both of the tabs is on the outside of the tuck spot and the other side is on the inside. So I thought what I'm going to do is, on the one that it's on the outside face, I'm going to put a little tab in there, and then on the ones where it's on the inside, I'm going to put one on there, so that they're just a bit different, so it's not just, I don't know what's happened to me. I'm abandoning my love of all things being equal and symmetrical, but then I suppose it still is equal because they're going to be the same on both sides. Haha. I get around it that way, right? So we're going to just grab a little bit of the glue there and just throw a little bit of that down onto there. There we go. Nice and easy. Now, if you're okay with leaving it there with that, that edge the way that it is, which is the opening edge, not the opening edge, the seam edge, fair enough. On this one, I think I'm gonna put, you can put washi tape around it, but I found that for things like this, using a little bit of fabric that is a bit wider than you actually need it to be means that when you open it and close it, there's room left in the gap, and it doesn't then try to pucker up your washi tape or end up pulling it and tearing it when you try to open it out flat, that kind of thing. So I'm going to give that a go on here, to be honest with you. So it's worked really well in the past, so I'm hoping it will work really well for this one. But it just creates, you don't glue the actual spine, you put the glue on the two side facing aspects, and then because there's no glue on the spine, when it tries to open and close, it's not trying to fight against the glue that you've put down, and the tension that that creates on your paper or fabric. If you glue it to the actual spine, it creates surface tension, which it then tries to break by opening and closing it. So that's what we're trying to avoid here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't know why I'm faffing so much. Okay, and then we're going to just do the same here, just along that edge. And then you're not pulling it over and pushing it tightly. You want there to be like bagginess here, so you're just literally going to kind of roll that over and then just push it down, so you're not making it snug. And I probably used slightly too much glue there because that's taking a second to get to grips. There we go. So we'll just give that a second, and then we'll put that to the test and see if it did what I hoped it was going to do when I do it with paper. It should do. I'm fairly confident, you know, but we all know how that goes, don't we? It's like, I'm very confident that this will... Oh. Or is that just me? Probably just me. But right, that's all nicely stuck down. So now when I open and close that, it is indeed doing what I hoped it would. It's just leaving that bit in there sort of baggy, so it's not putting strain on anything that you cover with. It will still open up really nice and flat, whereas again, if you've put tension on there, it's hard for it to open all the way out, and you need it to be able to open all the way out to be able to use these pockets, obviously. So, you know, you need those things to be out of the way. Okay, so I'm back after a rest. Let's have another look now at carrying on with the decoration. So what I've done is I've pulled out some bits and pieces that I've made, some ephemera that I've made. I've got, you know, die cut cogs in gears. I've got the stamped cotton that I mentioned earlier on, and just, yeah, some bits and pieces really, just to see, you know, what I kind of like the look of and wear. So I thought, well, I'm going to start off with a piece of this fabric, and I'm going to go for one of the kind of more burnt looking pieces, I think, for this one. So where I've cut it, obviously it's got quite a neat edge that I don't want, so I'm just going to fray that out. If you can't do it by hand, oh, that's a hat pin, that's way too big. If you can't get it to go by hand, use a pin and just kind of pick it with a pin. It's better if you do it on the desk kind of thing, but if you just do that, it will pull out the threads for you, like so. So you can do it nice and easy like that. As I say, if you can't get hold of the threads, because you can't always, it's not always easy. I'm just going to give them a really good kind of good scruff up, you know, make them look a bit old and a bit crappy. It's amazing, isn't it, how we like things to look like they're absolutely wrecked. It's very strange. But okay, right. And then I'm just going to get my ink, and I'm just going to kind of brush around the edges, kind of backwards and forwards, just like that, just to kind of grub it up a little bit further. So it just kind of looks like that now. And I think I'm going to sort of put that one maybe, yeah, maybe down here. So I'll just grab that glue and we'll just get some of that on there and see how we go. Obviously this bit, you know, you've been around hopefully a while now. If you haven't, then hi, thanks for coming. But if you've been around long enough, you'll know that a lot of what I do when it comes to this kind of thing is just sort of a bit haphazard really. I just kind of go, oh, I'm going to put that there and that's where it goes, kind of thing. So I think I want to have one of these, so I'm just gonna scrub a little glue onto that and just pop that down over there. And then maybe I'll have one of those little ones just kind of, you know, working as a gear there. Would be quite good. So I'll pop that on. Oh, glue bubble. Okay, and then that can get in there and do its job, or at least look like it's doing its job. So that one I'm okay with that one now. For this one over here, I kind of want something a little, yeah, something a bit like that. Oh, sorry about that, guys. And again, we're just gonna go, can't find my precision tip glue, and it's a bit fiddly today to try to put another one together because I've got the I don't know if you guys buy these. I buy the kits with the bottles and it's got all the different fine dispensing tips in there, but they're quite fiddly, so that's not happening today. What about a key maybe? Shall we have a key up there? Might look a bit nice. Yeah, let's have a key up that corner. So obviously, you know, this part is really just dependent on what you've made and, you know, the theme, etc. So it's going to differ unless you're doing a steampunk one and you say, I want to do it just like that. Then let's have a look at this side. I think on this side I'm going to have something, maybe that one, because I like the contrast of how that's all kind of warm and, you know, that's just really grotty. I just did these with some coffee dyed paper and I sprayed 2 of the distress inks over it. I think it's like the linen and whatever that one is, walnut stain, and just so I just got different colours on it, but I think it worked really nicely. So I made a whole batch of stuff like that. Okay, we have our glue and we're going to just pop that one along that side edge there a little bit. Fantastic. And I think maybe I might like another bit of the cotton. Oh, but I like that one, but it's going to need a good bit of freeing on this one, so we'll get a little bit of that going on there and we'll pop that down in there. I don't know why, but that one just shouts steampunk at me, so it had to go there, right? And then we will have some little bits of paper. Now I'm actually going to glue this one in, so I'm not bothering about that back piece there. So you can stick it in belly bands or, you know, tuck spots or what have you, but I don't particularly want to do that. What I do want to do is put just a little bit extra on the front here, like I did with the other one. Right, so what have we got there? I think that's looking kind of nice. I'm tempted to just add like maybe you know, a couple more keys down that part actually, but I am gonna just use this glue because the glue stick was not my finest idea. Alright, so yeah, I think that's pretty much got it covered really. So you've got the you know, the bits of ephemera that you can, you know, tuck into these pockets and stuff. You can just fill those now with whatever you want and put stuff in your little tuck spots. Yeah, I've just raided my finished bits and pieces, and I do indeed have things that I can put in my tuck spots to demonstrate slightly better. But you see with that tab there now, you can just slide things in and out because you can just push back on it, so you're not trying to squeeze it and stuff, trying to find the right gap. That could also work quite nicely, couldn't it, in there with that one sticking out the edge there. Quite like the idea of that one. But yeah, I think we could probably fit, yeah, fit small tags in the tuck spots as well. So yeah, I think that's gonna be quite okay. So there we have it. That is now complete. I added just a couple of little envelopes that I've made with some vellum, and you know, just kind of stuff those with stamps and the like to pop in there as well. And a couple more tags that I found while I was tidying everything away. I went, oh, I'll put that in there, oh, I'll put that in there. So yeah, a couple of extra bits got put in. There's the other one there, just some stamps in it. And I hope that you give it a go, you know, try making one. I would obviously, as I always say, I would love to see it if you post them on social media. I would love it if you tag me. If you're not in the Facebook groups, you can tag So Darn Twisted. That's absolutely fine. I'll still see it that way. The link is in the description. And yeah, if you've enjoyed it, please do give me a thumbs up, ring the bell to subscribe, make sure you see all my videos. If you check all notifications, then you'll be notified whenever I post anything on here. Obviously, as I say, feel free to check out my coffee channel where there are the freebies that you can download, as well as the shop. This is available in my coffee and my Etsy, this particular journaling paper kit. But anyway, yes, so thumbs up would be much appreciated. Comments, feedback, anything, questions, welcome those too. And I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Happy crafting.